All right, guys, look, I was going to do some type of super fancy intro where I try to do like B-roll and music design, but I just want to get right into the video. This is my 16-inch M3 Pro MacBook Pro. I have a long thing to talk to you guys about, but before we get into that, I am starting a 30 days of tech video series, which means you guys are gonna get 30 days of me talking about tech, and I am going to try to get this uploaded daily, but don't hold me to that. I work 2 jobs. Please don't. It is hard. But I figured you guys don't really get to see a lot of what goes on around here, and maybe you guys just need some entertainment. So we're gonna take a different look at how we talk about tech, and we're not just gonna do straight reviews. We're gonna make this a little bit more entertaining, right? But first, let's talk about what we gotta do today, right? 16-inch MacBook Pro. I've had it for going on a month now. Yeah. If you don't know, I've been using the M2 Max Mac Studio for about a year, right? No, not a year, not quite a year. But anyway, I sold a lot of my tech because I felt like I was too bogged down by things, and I wanted to be more free, and I wanted to have more in me to give to you guys, more in me to just experience life, and I felt like just having too much stuff kind of clutters that up. So this is day 1 of 30 days of tech. Now, while we start this review, I have my office, which I keep clean, but for whatever reason, I've gotten packed down again. So we're gonna clean that up while we talk about the MacBook. One of the things that people need to understand when it comes down to buying a laptop is you wanna try to buy a laptop that you don't have to replace. Now, Apple has made this extremely hard because Apple tends to make things that you can't change over time. Like once you buy a MacBook, that's what you have. That's your MacBook. If you don't like it, you gotta sell it and get a different one. Unfortunately, that's one of the things that I really don't like about Apple, but I mean, it's just kind of part of the trade. You know what you're getting when you're getting a MacBook, and you kind of know what comes along with it. Now, one of the benefits of getting a MacBook in today's times is the fact that they're making them just so dang good. Like, it's genuinely hard to pick a bad MacBook now. Now, some would say the fact that they even sell their 13-inch MacBook still, that is 2 generations behind, but it just has the updated chip, is like abusing its customers. But in reality, some people actually still like the 13-inch MacBook. Is it me? Am I one of those people? Absolutely not. But somebody's out there. Now, when I said that it's hard to pick a bad MacBook, is because the way that they've integrated Apple Silicon now is just, I mean, it's one of the best things out there as far as the chips are concerned. Not to mention, because of the way that they integrated it into their system and how you work with their programs and all that stuff, it's like your RAM isn't even as necessary as it would be in maybe like a PC. Now, before I get all the hate comments, I'm not saying RAM isn't necessary. I'm just saying it's not as necessary, especially with Apple being able to take some of your SSD and use that as RAM. You know what I mean? It's just the way that they're doing things is not super necessary. In fact, for me, I even took the base model just because I felt like I don't need all the RAM. And I really considered it. I really considered buying the 32 gigabytes of RAM. But when I took a look at my workflow, and then I also had experience working on the M2 Max, I had the 32 gigs of RAM there. I had the extra storage there, and I had the Max chip. It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was really good. But this is still good. In fact, I don't have any scrubbing issues the way that I used to have with the M1 Max. And although you do have slower export times, it's like I put it here, I go grab a cup of water, grab a coffee, do something. By the time I get back, it's done. Now, for some people, that might not work. Because we still have to remember that slower doesn't mean slow. Like if you were running, let's say you're running a 40-yard dash and the top speed of the day is a 4.3. Like that's super fast, right? 4.3 and a 40 is extremely fast. If you run a 4.5, you're slower than the 4.3, but you're still really fast, especially compared to other people. Like you're really fast. And that's how I look at the MacBooks. The M3 Pro chip is technically slower than my M2 Max. And I have less RAM, which means operations, exporting, memory call is slower. I have less storage, which means technically I do have a lesser model, but this is still really, really good. Now, I don't want to sound like a parrot when it comes down to what people have said about the MacBooks. They've been out for some time now, and a lot of people have given their reviews and their thoughts on it. And a lot of people have said, well, this is the greatest thing ever. I mean, the truth is, it's really good. The other truth is, you can find really good PCs out here. Does it mean that you should? I don't know. For me, I'm a Mac user. I love, you know what's crazy? A lot of people hear that and say, of course you're an Apple head or Apple fanboy or whatever. I would prefer to have a PC. Big shocker, I know. But they're just so damn slow. I mean, if I want to get a top of the line MacBook, of course it's going to be super expensive. But if I want to get a base model, my base model cost me $2,400 plus tax. If I spent that same amount on a PC, let's just say my favorite PC is the XPS 15. If I spent that same amount on that, yes, I would get a top of the line XPS 15. So the argument that they're comparable in price, yes, that's true. What's not true is this would still beat that computer when it comes down to the tasks that I use. And it's just simpler to use. And I like it better. And now with things like the Apple Vision Pro coming out, I'm gonna be honest, I am going to try to get that to review. However, it might not happen, seeing as though that's like $4,000. And I don't have $4,000 to just give away. I just don't have it. But even with the Apple Vision Pro, the fact that I could take this VR headset essentially and tether it to my laptop and be able to use my screen in like an ultra wide if I wanted to, like, or make it super big and be able to work, like that's just crazy to me. You can't do that with a PC. I just don't understand. You know what I mean? All the PC arguments out there, yes, it's better for gaming and all this stuff. I mean, there are a million arguments that you can have for why you get a PC. But let's just stop negating the fact there are a million arguments on why you should have a Mac. Do you guys notice this little raw spot in the wood of my desk? Yeah, I cut my desk down to size and I actually threw away the extra piece that came with that to cover that up. But I'm actually gonna rebuild a desk. I'm actually gonna build my own desk. I'm thinking about how I'm gonna do that. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like nobody noticed it, so now you should notice it. But if you're considering the 16-inch MacBook Pro and you want me to tell you whether or not you should get it, honestly, get it. Just that simple. It's really good, it's reliable, it looks good, it has ports, it has everything that you need. Only thing that I have extra is this mouse, because this is my favorite mouse and I will use that no matter what system I use. If you are curious, this is the MX Master 3S with the silent click. I just love that mouse. So at the end of the day, it's a really good mouse. But anyway, if you want to know if you should buy it, you should. If you want to give it a try, this is what you do. You go to a place like Best Buy and you buy it, and you have 2 weeks, or you have, I think it's like 70 days if you have like the Total Tech membership. Anyway, you get a 2-week period, run it through all your tests. Just run it, run it, run it, run it, run it. If you like it, keep it. You made a good investment. If you don't like it, take it back. You get your money back. It's that simple, right? But I mean, if you're looking at this video and you're like, this isn't much of a tech review, it's not. It's just me talking about tech, which I will be doing for the next 30 days. Still don't know how I'm going to be able to do that, but that is what I'm doing for you guys, man. I'm enjoying making content. I'm living it, man. I don't know, just getting this started, man. I feel real close to the channel. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback lately. Been able to have some good talks with people, and I'm enjoying this content thing. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm not getting paid at all. at all. But it's not even about that. It's just about being able to connect with you guys, man. You guys are awesome. Even the haters, you're awesome. You guys have great lives. Everybody out here is blessed to have today because you never know about tomorrow. Peace.